Hi everyone, this is Tammy, owner of Worthy, Worth It, and Priceless, and today's podcast is titled It's For You. So recently, this past week, the numbers for the podcast has went up I think around 6,000, from last Monday to now. So last Monday, I think I was at 23,000 and now it's at 29,000. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I really didn't believe it. I was like, something is wrong, or you know what I mean? Because it was hard for me to accept it. The one thing about the podcast is, by the grace of God, God gives me a message to tell you guys. I tell it, but I don't really get a chance to really have any interaction with anyone. So I don't even know if anyone actually listens or whatever. I just see the numbers type of thing. So I was having a conversation with my coworker and I'm like, man, the numbers went up. Like on the last podcast, not the one that I just did recently, but the one before that, which was Don't Miss Your Moment. That podcast is actually over 1,000 plays, downloads. Thank you all for listening. But it was that is my highest number for a podcast. I'm like, oh my gosh, and it shot up really quickly because I just did that podcast last week or something like that. So anyway, but I was telling them oh my gosh, the numbers are, weird, or not that they're weird, but they're just going up. And it was just something that was somewhat hard for me to accept because things like that don't happen to me, type of thing. And so he was like, oh, you have a good podcast. And he was like, what you're saying, people really needs to hear that. And it's really encouraging and stuff like that. I'm like, oh my gosh. And that's something that I wasn't able to kind of realize because, like I said, how the podcast come to me, God will give me a message or he'll show me a message from one way or another. How I have examples for things from my daughter and things like that. Something will spark whatever the podcast is, and then I just do it. I don't really think about it. And with that, sometimes I don't want to say you can take it for granted, but sometimes you can take those things for granted and you're not really realizing a lot of times that by his grace, you're able to help other people. And the encouragement that I want to give to you guys is when God opens up doors and makes things or allows things to happen in your life, accept it. It is for you. You have done the work and God is rewarding you for doing that work. Sometimes we get to a point where we don't know how to accept the blessings that God is giving us. And sometimes you get to a point of being too humble that you might miss your blessing. So an example of that, and it is a lot of funny examples that I have of that. I was in the 12th grade and this guy asked me to go to prom. I actually had a different prom date, so I thought. And I was like, but I also didn't think that this guy was serious. So lo and behold, what happened? I ended up going to the prom by myself because I really didn't think that this guy was actually serious. And I noticed that a lot of times that happens in my life, because I will say sometimes it happens because of things that happened in my past. When I ended up moving to New York to Niagara Falls when I was in the 6th grade, you're the new kid. So people have little games or stupid stuff that they do. So anyway, I was in a class and this girl was like, oh, he likes you. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm a new girl. I didn't know any better, whatever. So I waved to him, whatever. I don't like her. And I'm like, what the heck? You know what I mean? And it's just a game that people play. And sometimes when that happens in your life, it is hard for you to accept when good things happen because you're always thinking that someone isn't serious or this couldn't happen to you or things like that. And once again, the encouragement that I want to give you is that God is changing your life. He's changing your story. So how things used to happen in the past where people didn't recognize you for your good works, or things never quite went the way that you wanted them to, or went in your favor, or you were always overlooked, things like that. I want you to realize that God is changing that part of your life. You will go from overlooked to being booked. You will go from people disregarding you to seeking you. Where God is about to take you is a place that you've never been before, but do not be afraid. When you walk into those rooms, into those meetings of things that you've asked God for, realize that you deserve to be there. They wouldn't call you if you weren't meant to be in those rooms. So don't feel as though, oh my gosh, I'm not supposed to be here, something, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know why this is happening to me. I shouldn't be in this room. Do not think less of yourself. The blessings that God is about to give you is for you. Don't miss your blessing because your own self-conscious is messing with you and making you feel as though, oh my gosh, I shouldn't be here. Do not doubt where God is about to take you. It is for you. If people call you to come into a room for a meeting, don't matter who it is, do not shrink back. They're calling you because of the expertise that you have. This is not the time for you to be shy, not use your voice or nothing like that. This is time for you to be who God has called you to be. He's in that room right along with you. He's not going to leave you nor forsake you. He did not bring you that far just to leave you right there in that room with those people that you prayed for God to allow you to be in those rooms or have those opportunities. He's not going to open up those doors or opportunities just to leave you there. He's going to see you through. You got this. God has you. Your life is going to change for the better. I hope that you are prepared. God loves you. I love you. Always know that you have worth, you have value, and where God is about to take you, it is for you. So please enjoy this next part of your journey. Love you guys. Until next time. Bye.